You know, sometimes with ADHD, you have such a passion to do something, such a drive. People call it a hyperfocus, that you can latch onto that and do that for hours. And you lose track of time because time doesn't matter anymore. You stop eating, everything stops because of that one task. Well, on the flip side, sometimes you want to do something. You know mentally you should be doing something. You have to do something because of whatever. But you just can't bring yourself to do it. And anything, literally anything, doing dishes is more alluring than the task that should be fun, the one that you should really like. You say to yourself, you should really like doing this. Like painting miniatures. I love painting miniatures. It's fun. It's interesting. It's great. But sometimes you just can't bring yourself to do it. And it's such a hurdle just to sit down for a few minutes, for a half an hour, 15 minutes, whatever it is, you just want to sit down and do that task. Let me know if you have that problem too. This is another part of it. I got piles of shame that instead of sitting down painting the miniatures, I'm making a video about my big piles of shame of 40K stuff that I don't even play anymore. Necromunda models that I don't play anymore because that was from first edition Necromunda, and a whole big box of primed but not painted orcs in the box. I mean, this is just a small fraction of the pile of shame that I have, but it goes through my head like I should be working on this stuff. And I even have some models that I need to work on, some Savage Orcs that I need to finish up because I need to paint about a dozen more to complete my just 1,000 point small army. So, what do you do when you've got a task in front of you and you feel like you have to do it and you don't have that much time? So, how do you organize yourself to do it? One, you can put a time limit and say you have to start this task and perform this for a certain number of minutes or an hour or something. So there's a beginning and end to it, and you know that. You can get to it and you can finish whatever the time limit can offer. And that's it. Whatever you get done, you get done. Another thing you can do is give yourself a task to complete. So say you sit down and you have to paint all of the brown parts of this orc. Paint in dry brush or whatever you're doing, for example. So there's an end to it. There's a beginning and end, and you can track that. If it seems like there's too much, there's piles of shame, there's too many orcs to paint, too many whatevers to do, shorten that. Limit the task to something there's a beginning, a middle, and end, and you can get it done in one sitting. Another task is just to stop thinking about it and begin. And I know that sounds weird, but it's sort of like a drive-by task where on your way from doing something to something else, you sit down and you do a thing in between. It's usually a smaller task, like I'm going to go take a shower, but oh, hey, I can throw in the laundry and start that. Or hey, I'm headed to the bathroom. While I'm at it, I'll stop by and change the laundry from wash to dry. And you can begin that process. Those are sort of drive-by tasks. Shorter, generally. But I've found sometimes if I put this in the way and make this a drive-by task, that'll work too, as long as it's just one or two things I'm doing. Once I start, sometimes it's hard to stop. So even though it's such an uphill battle in some cases to just begin the task, I find that once I've started, it's easier just to continue. So those are just a few options that I found can work. Not everything's going to work all the time, clearly, but let me know what tasks do you have trouble with, and how do you get past it, or maybe you don't. But let me know in the comments.